Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
And guys, I don't know if you knew this, but, sometimes, and don't get me wrong, love my kids very much, but being able to go out without kids is actually quite pleasant.
Yeah? I actually do know that because I go out with kids every time I leave my house. So,
I was going to say I don't have any experience to draw off of here. I just go where I please.
I just assume that you guys have children around you all the time because that is how I assume everybody lives their life. Oh man, no, we were able to actually have a grown-up date for once, and
nice.
It was very nice. It was very nice. I'm not gonna lie. Being able to, it was weird though, like driving places and not worrying about the kid in the back seat or hearing like Paw Patrol behind me, and like it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Had some awesome beers. Which was awesome. I had like a rinse and repeat, Simcoe and Mosaic, and it was like so good. It was so good,
and it tasted extra good because there were no children around.
Exactly. Yes.
Turns out beer tastes better when there's no kids.
Beers taste better with no kids. Yes, but so that was a good time.
So what did you do with your kids while you were out? Did you lock them in a playpen and throw them some crackers and say, have fun?
CJ's probably old enough to babysit by now.
Yeah, I think he's getting there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, once they're 3, they can watch basically any kid younger than them. So
it's like a Rugrats situation where, like, Angelica could talk to the babies, but still couldn't be understood by the adults.
Exactly,
kind of the same thing. You know?
Yes, okay. That makes a lot more sense. That's a good way of explaining it to me.
Yeah.
So we just let CJ kind of, you're man of the house now, and he was all like super spin and like spun around a lot, and I was like, he knows, he understands, he gets it. Oh man!
So this was a test to see if he could be the man of the house in case you ever like perished in a dog food accident.
Well, I would assume that I would perish in like a
beer chugging contest.
Yeah, see something cool like that. Like I was fighting a Decepticon or something. Yeah, and I barely lost.
Happens more often than you think.
It was actually a stalemate. We both died at the same time. So CJ needs to get prepared for that day when I have to face off against Decepticons and stuff. Does that make sense? Is that Marvel? Is Marvel that? Did I do Marvel?
I think you did Transformers.
Yeah.
Is Marvel not Transformers? They're not the same? Oh, damn.
No.
One of these days. One of these days I'll understand. Not today. Today's not the day.
Now, during your date, did you go to a movie as well? Like, are you going to have something to talk about? Like, that's like pop culture-y reference?
No.
Spoil his handle here.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I have one handle so far. I have one handle, and it's a good one this time. But, I do want to thank the outpouring of fan mail we got about my amazing handle last week. I mean, I've heard nothing but amazing things. The emails have been flowing in about people revolutionized cleaning in the house and a staple amongst their cabinet.
But a whole new level of cleaning people's houses. You've
so much better.
Revolutionized their lives. Yeah.
Revolutionized, yeah. So I mean, thousands of emails. I was gonna do a mailbag, but I don't think we have enough time. We have enough time.
That's unfortunate.
I had somebody tell me that after they've used that product, their house has never been dirtier. So congratulations on making people's houses dirtier.
It's the dirtiest my house has ever been. But yeah, that's
to circle back to something else from last week too. I did finally find like a reason that like people should put their food outside and let it cool down before they stick it in their fridge.
We did hear some comments on this on the Discord. People were on my side here.
Yeah, well, none of those people gave me the reason that made it connect in my mind. But apparently, you're supposed to leave your food out to where it's just above room temperature before you put it in the fridge, because based on like older fridges, so like 1990s fridges, it could have spoiled the food in there because it could have increased the temperature of the fridge as a whole and caused some of the food that was already below
it gets the
bacteria
rest of the
growing
fridge too
temperature
hot
to raise and then it would cause bacteria to grow in your food. In today's like new fridges, if you have a fridge after like 2010, it's not really an issue anymore because they're normally powerful enough to drop the temperature of everything and hold. But I guess it really was an issue back in like the 80s and 90s to where like leaving that stuff out was
and
a thing.
2000s. It sounds like.
Well, yeah.
We're getting a whole decade there.
Yeah, forget about that decade. Nobody cares about that decade.
Well, I mean, that was when I learned how to cook and store food. So it was a critical decade in my food cooling knowledge. So.
But now we're 2 decades beyond that time. Like the 2010s are gone. We're in the 2020s now.
Don't even say that. Don't even tell me the 2000s were 2 decades ago.
Oh my God, that's unreal. You know, I actually had a I wish I was Obert moment. Just yesterday, I was loading up my beer fridge with warm beer, and I was like, "Oh, it's cold outside. I should have put this outside. I should have taken the Obert route." But you know, alas, we live and we learn, and we go back in time in fridge technology and put things outside.
One last thing before we move on from this, I made a big old Instant Pot of chili today, and it's sitting outside right now as we speak. Cooling off.
The stoop hobos are going to be so happy.
They will. They're going to love it. Yeah. The trick is to undercook the onions.
All right, so.
It's beer 30, and I'm thirsty. I've been working like a dog all week long, so maybe something cold won't hurt me. 'Cause it's beer 30, and it's time to party. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, indeed.
Yes, child.
Yeah, so it's time to drink some beer.
It's time to drink. It's time to drink some stuff, huh?
You know what? Since I played the music, I guess I'll just go first. Partly because I know Obert really wants to go, and it just makes me laugh that he has to wait another person.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear
boy.
this beer review.
So this week I brought a beer called Undivided by It's technically by Labyrinth Brewing Company. I did get it for free from Adam, so thank you very much, Adam. As you guys can see, it's a purple can.
Nice.
It says Undivided. It also has the Connecticut Brewers Guild logo on it. So what this really is I always can't pronounce this brewery's name, but Aspetuck Brew Lab is formulated, brewed, and selling an IPA in January 2021. They did all this a month ago, and will be donating a portion of the sales to the Connecticut Brewers Guild to help in its recovery from the COVID-19 shutdown. They invited all Connecticut breweries to join the effort and encouraged them to brew and sell their own version of Undivided and donate a portion of the sales to the guild. So what this is basically every time that one of these beers is sold, they donate $1 of the proceeds from the beer or the 4-pack to the Brewers Guild, which is then helping to help some of the more affected breweries of the state from closing down. So it's kind of along the same lines as All Together or Black is Beautiful beer that we had on the podcast over the past year. But this is something just more local to Connecticut.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is
what kind of beer is it? So
this is it's a Connecticut India Pale Ale. It actually says Connecticut India Pale Ale on it, and not New
We're
England.
not even talking New England style. This is even more refined.
Correct.
It's a Connecticut style IPA.
Right.
This is the first Connecticut IPA I've ever heard of, by the way.
Yeah, this also for me. I've never heard of it before either. But if you go to Connecticut.beer, there's a website there's a website for the Connecticut Brewers Guild. So if you want to find out anywhere near you, all you Connecticut listeners, that has, or any place around you that has this beer, or if you would like to learn a little bit more about this program, please go to Connecticut.beer for more info. Or if you just want to learn about the Connecticut Brewers Guild. But what this IPA is so it's a Connecticut IPA, and it's with Azaka, Citra, Mosaic, Raku, and raspberries.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's 6.2% ABV, and it's
a raspberry IPA. I like it.
Yeah, so that was a Labyrinth edition. So I've had some of these Undivideds from other breweries. I had one from back east. I had one from Thimble Island. This is the first one that I've had from Labyrinth. So we're going to hear a live reaction right here.
All right. So they did the Brewer's Choice Fruit Edition.
Correct. So I will show you this. It pours kind of guava-y colored.
Yeah, it looks like one of those fruit smoothie beers.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter than that. It's pink. It doesn't come across on the webcam as pink, but it is pink in person. Go check out the Instagram for a picture of it so you guys can see how pink it really is. So it is pink. On the nose, I don't get any raspberry smells. I get a lot of dank, like hop smells. I mean, it's got to be. It doesn't really smell much like Citra. It smells kind of more like Mosaic, with just that earthiness to it. So let's dive in.
Right.
As you can see, the head is kind of sticking around, but it's kind of not as frothy as you would expect it to be. But it's okay. It's got fruit, so that's helping it dissipate.
Yeah.
Got fruit.
We all got to get our servings every day.
It's got fruit. It's multiplying.
Okay, it's interesting. That's really good. The raspberries are front and center on the taste. There's, can't smell them at all, but they are right there, right on the palate as soon as you drink them. It kind of fades off into a little bit more of like an incredibly bitter IPA. So Chris, this would be like right up your alley. It's just
right.
It's got like 100 IBUs. It's bold.
Nice. Nice.
It definitely has a little bit of sour tinge to it, which I guess is kind of from the raspberries. It doesn't advertise itself as a sour IPA, but it definitely has some sour IPA characteristics to it. As far as other flavors I'm getting out of this, it's kind of just like it's kind of well hidden by the raspberry. It's kind of raspberry and then straight into bitterness all the way through. This is good. I wish there was more to say about it because it's kind of so overpowering with the raspberries and the sourness that it kind of hides all the rest of the unique hop characters in this.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. You said you had one from Thimble Island and one from back east.
Correct.
How does it compare to those two?
So those are different because they didn't have fruit in them.
Okay.
So it's very different.
Were they more similar to each other?
Yes. So I would say that the one from back east was I think it was even 5.8% ABV, so it was more sessionable. It was more crushable. It tasted a little bit more heavy in like a malt type backbone, which is kind of prevalent in most of back east beers. They tend to be a little bit more beer flavored beers than trying to not be beer flavored beers. From Thimble Island, that was like a straight up like New England style IPA, haze bomb, tons of Citra flavors. That was a really good beer. And that's what made me go out and like kind of look around for these styles of beers elsewhere. So I know I had this somewhere else too, and I wasn't a fan of the one that I had in the other place, and I'm completely drawing a blank on the brewery's name at the moment. So
you should get an app where you can like log all the beers that you try.
Yeah, I mean, I would go look right now on Untappd, but I'd be afraid that I would like run by this rating and kind of blow up the game.
That's a good point. So maybe at the end of this episode, you could tell us the forgettable one.
Yeah, we go.
We made this joke on our Brewer's Choice episode about we're gonna come up with a beer like this, but everything is Brewer's Choice, and that sounds like it's actually what they did.
Yeah, I think they're listening to us, and they're like, "Oh, it's a great idea, guys." So Aspetuck, thanks for taking our idea and making it really, really popular. As if I had to rank the ones that I've had, I would say that Thimble Island was probably the best of the four that I've had. I'd put this one as second, the back east one as third, and the unnamed brewery as fourth.
Thimble Island was the best?
Thimble Island. So I was shocked when I went to Thimble Island. They've changed.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe when I was back in Connecticut too.
They're not terrible anymore.
Well, that's good. I mean, they were awful.
Yeah, they're really like they're up. They've like moved. They've improved. Their beer hall is much better now too. It's massive. It's very light. And Chris, I remember we went there at the same time. It was a very dark, dingy building that kind of looked like it would blow down with a stiff wind. From what I remember it being.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't hate the space, but the beer was just okay. It was fine. And then some of them were not good. But anyways, I'm glad that was years ago too. That was 4 or 5 years ago. It was a long time ago. I think it was
longer than that. I think it was like 6-7 years ago.
It might have been. It might have been after Nick's wedding, honestly.
But anyway, that sounds about right.
That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. So they've definitely improved. They definitely have brewed the best Undivided that I've had.
Nice.
Overall, this one's really good. I wish it had a little bit more IPA flavor to it, but it definitely has a lot of good flavor to it. It's just, if you like raspberries and you like bitterness at the end, if that sounds like an IPA that's for you, I would definitely go research this. And I have 3 more. I will be drinking them all, and I'll enjoy them. It's just, I think the raspberries kind of overpowered the beer a little bit, which is fine. Because some people like that style, and it's kind of more fits with like a sour type of vibe. Overall, I'm going to give this beer a 3.75.
Nice. Okay.
Solid, just not quite as good as one of the other ones I've had. Overall, I think Untapped, it's probably going to have some light ratings to it because, it's kind of a newer beer. Hopefully it has like an average, but I'm going to guess that it's probably at a 3.86.
So you are right. 47 check-ins. But you were wrong. You're over by a little bit. 3.73 is what it's showing on Untapped right now. So it's a little low.
Surprisingly low for Labyrinth.
Yeah. I mean, they put out some bangers. So I don't know, but 47 check-ins.
You can't. Like I said, you can't tell a good average with that low number.
Yeah.
No.
And I think what might happen with this beer's average is that people might go in kind of like me and expecting an IPA, and while it is an IPA and very bitter on the back end, I think it may knock it down a few pegs because it's not quite what people might be expecting.
And even though that's low for an average, that's right in line with what you rated it. So
right,
that's true. Yeah.
Very good, Tud. Well,
yeah, Ober, I don't want to make you wait anymore.
Okay, good. Very good. Because
it sounded like he was just going to take the ball and run.
I was. So today, the day that we are recording this, February 22nd, 2021, it is National Margarita Day. And I figured what better way to celebrate than making a margarita for the podcast. Now, I've done traditional margarita before. I've done a couple of different variants on it way back in the beginning of the show. But I wanted to go a little fancy today. I came across this recipe on Instagram, and I made a blood orange margarita today, which I'm super excited to bring to the podcast. So I have blood orange facts and I have cocktail review. What order do you want them in?
Well, first, I think the first order of business is to gotta open up that liquor cabinet.
Thank you. We gotta open up that liquor cabinet. How could I have forgotten? Yeah, that's a good point. This is one of Obert's classic cocktails over here. But while we're rummaging around the liquor cabinet, let me tell you a few things about a blood orange. Because I don't really know. Have you guys ever eaten a blood orange or seen a blood orange?
I've seen them. I don't think I've had them, though.
I think I've had drinks with them in it, but I've never I've never eaten one.
Yeah, same.
It tastes similar to an orange, but it's got red or bloody colored flesh, and that comes from a chemical known as now this is going to be a test of how I can pronounce chemicals. This is like the plant. It's chrysanthemum, which is from the presence of anthocyanin. Jeez.
So it's got Chris and cyanide in it, is what I gather.
It's the two cancel each other out. So, it's actually, I found this on another page. The Wikipedia is not super helpful here, but it was a natural mutation of the orange. So someone one day just found this growing, which is pretty wild. To just be like, what's up with that weird that blood orange?
So one day somebody was eating an orange and bit into it, and it was red. And they probably shit
I like
their
to
pants.
imagine it. Yeah.
They bit into it like an apple, like you do an orange, and it was red on the inside.
I just if you're the one who peeled the orange and you saw that it was blood red right like that, would you try it, or would you be like, you know what, I'm not going to eat this?
Hey, people tried a lot of weird stuff to get us where we are today, food wise.
Very true.
Somebody had to figure out that cow's milk is the best milk, and I don't know who did that, but.
A hero to cereals everywhere.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine being the guy in the village where they're like, all right, Billy, eat this. Oh, he lived. Okay, we can eat this. All right, Billy, eat this. All right, he died. All right, Steve, you're up.
We're not going to eat that anymore. Yeah. But yeah, they taste kind of similar to a regular orange, except a little more tart. And yeah, like I said, I came across a couple of different recipes on Instagram. The one I followed, I'll put in the show notes. But it's just your traditional margarita, which, as we know, is a sour. So the 3 ingredients of any sour are citrus juice, your liquor, and your sweetener, which for a margarita is lime juice is a citrus, and the sweetener is a triple sec or an orange liqueur. So yeah, that's how you make a sour. And this is the proportions I used is because triple sec is already like an orange based liqueur. I kind of tuned that down a little bit because I'm adding orange juice. So I juiced 1 lime, 1 orange. I did 1 shot of triple sec and 2 shots of tequila because I like my margaritas kind of strong. And as we've said multiple times on the show, I'm a big fan of reposado tequila, even though most margarita recipes you'll come across are going to say to use a silver tequila. But with that, let's shake this guy up. Let's go to Margarita Town, guys.
Oh, but you know what I like? I like that you bring your own sound effects.
You know, I try and make your job a little easier. Yeah. And I used Grand Gala as the liqueur. Ooh, I even have a little bit extra. I can't even fit it all in the glass here. So that even makes it even more of a dark color. So look at this beautiful drink here. It's like super red.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Very red.
Very, very blood orangey.
Yeah.
You look like a
Man,
vampire.
I'm really happy with this one. One more educational tip while we're still in the liquor cabinet here. And I'm sure Tud knows this, being our fruit expert of the podcast, but you want to pick a blood orange that's heavy for its size. Don't worry about the color on the outside. The citrus fruits, you want them. That's how you know they're nice and juicy, is because they're dense. They're heavy for their size.
So thick with
Nice.
5 C's.
Yes, you want those thick melons. Those thick
melon.
yeah. Oranges.
Oh, I thought of something, by the way. I was trying to say this, but drinking it down in Margarita Town. That's what it is. So
all right, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing.
To the tune of Margaritaville.
Okay.
I didn't want to get sued by Sir James Buffett. Okay, never mind. We're gonna get sued anyway. It's fine.
But all right. So without further ado, I'm gonna just jump right in.
Drinking it down in Margarita Town.
Yeah. Ooh, that's yummy. That's really good. The blood orange, it almost tastes like Campari in a way. It really does add a very nice bitter complement to your normal margarita recipe.
Campari, huh?
Yeah. Normally a margarita for me, it's tough. I almost got to water it down. I shake it a long time or leave ice in the glass because if I make a margarita, it's both sometimes too sour and too sweet. And my only recourse is to add more tequila, which is sometimes a bad idea. So just adding a little bit more melted ice, adding a little bit more water is not always the worst idea.
I have a tip for you on how to get by with that. Because I, like you, make my margaritas with extra booze. If you add like a half a shot of like agave nectar, it kind of adds a little bit more sweetness, and you don't have to water down your drink because you don't taste the booze.
Well, sometimes the issue I have is it's too sweet. It's sometimes I can have it both be too sweet and too sour with a normal margarita recipe. So I'm like, okay, I can't add more triple sec. I can't add more lime juice. I guess I'll just add more tequila. But no, using like a lime seltzer also is a good way to water it down because it still gives you that lime flavor and it gives a little bit of that effervescence, you know. Mm-hmm. But this blood orange adds another layer. It adds that bitter bite, which really I think complements the existing ingredients in here really well. Man, this is really good. Spoiler, I made one before the podcast. Just quality control. I didn't want to come in here with a bad recipe for you guys, but this one's even better. I don't know what it is. I think the Grand Gala, I used a different triple sec before, but man, if there was ever an Obert cocktail that got a 5, this is it. I'll tell you what. It's
that's awesome.
It's yummy, and it's also, well, this is what I wanted to pull up on the Blood Orange page. It's peak Blood Orange season right now, late February. Let's see if I can find a good source on when the season is on here.
I can safely say that, even though I'm the fruit spurt of the podcast, I have never had a blood orange.
They're good, for sure. They're really tasty. Yeah, so according to thespruceeats.com, blood orange season is December through April. They're definitely a shorter season than oranges. Yeah, here's where it says. They're easier to peel than other oranges, have fewer seeds, and a sweeter taste. Their season is from December through April, so they can be harder to find and more expensive than navel or other common oranges. But yeah, I like them. It's a short season, so I'm all about seasonal beverages. I like to stick with the season. So head on out there, folks. Pick up some blood oranges now while you can.
Now I'm gonna have to go out and buy some more fruit.
Yeah, maybe that was your issue. When you went and tried one of every fruit, it wasn't blood orange season.
Very possible.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these in the store, so maybe they just don't exist in Connecticut.
Yeah, I think you just got to know. You got to look for them. I think
you got to know.
You would just walk by them.
I got to get a fruit guy.
Because they're just right next to the oranges. They look like oranges. They don't look any different on the outside. Sometimes some of them have a little bit of a darker skin, but again, you don't really need to go by that when you're buying them. You just want a really heavy blood orange. You want them to be dense. That's how you know they're juicy and delicious. So, no untapped rating for me. Leaving Man of the People. It sounds like Tud took a swing and a miss. So maybe Chris will have it tonight. Who knows?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, extended my lead. You know what I mean? So.
We do have one update on the podcast. I did get a whiteboard specifically to keep track of our Man of the People tally. So starting after tonight's episode, I will be keeping track of our Man of the People scores on here.
Finally, and once we hire a historian, it's more of like a unpaid internship. But...
Yeah, hires in quotes.
Yeah, who wants an internship that's unpaid and you don't get college credits? Email us at dawfpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah,
we can't promise the college credits, but
if someone calls and asks if you were an intern, we'd say yes.
Yeah. We're not against lying to colleges. It's no big deal.
I feel like we fit in with the college atmosphere, too. We're a drinking show. College kids like to drink. This is perfect fit.
Yeah.
Agriculture. I don't know.
Fruits.
Fruit.
Let's close that liquor cabinet and move on over to Chris's review here. All right. I did want to say, though, that before I let you go, Chris, I was partially inspired by that Woody guy from Around the Horn with the whiteboard. So,
yes,
maybe I could put a little funny saying on for you guys when we record
every episode. Yeah.
I like that your life has become improved by a giant whiteboard.
Well, yeah. How could it have gotten worse from a giant whiteboard?
I know, right? It seems like a good thing.
Now you're going to hang it on the wall behind you, right? So what are you going to do when you're on a work call?
Well, that's the thing is I can use it to draw stuff if I need to explain something on a work call. So it'll be
what's Man of the People? Don't mind that. That's that's not the work section.
Ignore the drawing of the goose.
Who is Chris? Who is Obert? And what is a Tud?
And why does Obert have so many tally marks next to that name? I don't understand.
Oh, I didn't realize we were keeping scores like golf, where we had the less tally marks was the better.
Yeah,
Chris
I'll have
is
to
really good.
Get extra whiteboard for all your tally marks then.
Bah, got him. Oh man, we're gonna have to go back and if anybody's re-listening and wants to keep a tally, at least give us an updated tally. Please let us know. Or if someone's been keeping a tally, probably not, but you never know. People have a lot of time on their hands, right?
We could go back and check. It wouldn't be that hard to just fast forward to Jordan's song and then
that's true.
It's we do have a good landmark in the episodes.
Listen,
now would we?
I kind of like the idea of starting the
just
score
start fresh
now with the whiteboard is here.
Start fresh. Okay, so we're not going to count the last 2 weeks where I won. Okay, cool. So I am taking another trip down memory lane. I think going back all the way to episode 5 with another repeat brewery. And
fun fact, you can't listen to that episode. So Is it really a
You
repeat
can.
if you can't
You
go
have
back?
to go to our website.
You go to our website or you go to podbean.com/DAWF podcast. Anyway, we should really start. You know what? We should start uploading those to the Patreon. Also, thank you, patrons, because we love you. We should upload those to the Patreon, just like as like a bonus. Like, hey, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just listen to it here.
That's
I
right.
don't
If you want our old beginning episodes, you got to go
Terrible.
to Patreon.
Yeah, terrible podcasts.
But it's where all the inside jokes come from.
That's true. It's so funny. We got them all in the first 20 episodes.
And we
They're
never
all
changed.
arguably the worst ones. So, yeah, 100 episodes ago, and they're not great. But anyway, this is a throwback. My mom is in town, and she hails, of course, from Connecticut. So she brought me down some. Her trips are becoming themed. Every time she comes down, she brings like a slew of one type of beer, which I enjoy, or one brewery worth of beer. So this time I have, including proper glassware, Beard Brewing Company.
Ooh, you got a new glass too.
I got a new glass. I got their Oktoberfest type Stein with the Beard logo, and I have not had Beard in a long time. So she did get me, I think, 5 or 6 4-packs of just solid beard stuff, and this one I have not had, but I guess it was highly regarded when she went to the brewery. And this is their Salute to 22, which is an IPA, 6.7% alcohol. Little like Navy guy right there is doing the dang thing. I think it's Navy. Anyways, so nice can art. So yeah, I haven't had Beard in a few years at least. I don't think.
What do they salute? What is 22? What are we saluting to?
I was
We're
assuming that was the submarine number,
Oh, maybe.
which I think is the USS Groton. Might be the USS Connecticut. I could find out.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sure the can might say. Hang on.
It seems as though it goes to the Gary Sinise Foundation.
Okay.
But it doesn't say what the 22 is.
SSN 22 was USS Connecticut.
Okay, so that must be what it is. But it goes to the Gary Sinise Foundation. The 2020 Veterans Blend is comprised of 5 different Pacific Northwest grown hop varieties, including Idaho 7 and Mosaic hops. This blend provides a well-balanced mix of tropical, citrus, and herbal aromas. It seems as though it's something they do either yearly or partially yearly. I have a lot of head on this, so I'm like kind of waiting for it to
holy
die.
crap!
There's a lot of head. And it's not. The head is here. The head is here to stay, y'all. I'm gonna have to drink through it. I'm gonna have to drink through the head.
This is when you add a beer mustache to your regular mustache, kind of like a milk.
I'm gonna
mustache.
have to.
And it doesn't help that your glass is formulated to keep head on your beer because it's a Stein.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it's out of control. So I do get some of that citrusy aroma that it's talking about, some earthy stuff, nothing too pungent, but like I said, I'm sniffing through 1.5 inches to 2 inches ahead. So let's see how
It's so bad. Like, how do you pour that bad?
I don't know. It might be the beer. Some of it's the beer. Sometimes
I blame this on
Well,
you
let's
not
see.
drinking till you were 21.
Let's see what the beard has been doing the last couple of years.
And I'm drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer.
All right, so it is good. I don't get as much citrus. I get some citrus, not as much as I was thinking. I definitely get more of the earthy, herbally vibes out of this. But it did say Pacific Northwest, so that kind of makes sense as to the fact that it might be, even though it's branded as a regular IPA. So yeah, it's definitely more of a regular style. I mean, if you even look at it, it's a little hazy, but it's not like bright orange like you would normally see. Definitely more of a normal IPA.
It's filtered.
It is filtered. We are getting a decent amount of herbal, of the pininess, some decent bitterness to it. I mean, maybe a tad bit of something right on the front, like an orange right on the front, but it's very, very slight. I get way more of the pininess, way more pine, which I don't dislike. I mean, honestly, we have so many IPAs on here that going back to like a more traditional style IPA or West Coast IPA is never a bad thing. I will say, not my all-time favorite, but nothing too crazy. I'll warn you folks that don't like bitter beers, might not be your beer. I get a decent bite out of it. And the other thing that I don't get is normally beer has like a very distinct aftertaste for me. I'm not getting that. So I don't know if it's just because it's filtered, so it's taking some of that stuff out. But I have some like Dogs and Boats and the Frankenberry in my fridge that I'll have to jump back into because those are some of my all-time favorites from them.
Also from your mom?
Also from my mom, yes.
Nice.
She bought me like I said, like 5 or 6 4-packs plus the mug. So
oh man,
I wondered if
it's my birthday next month, so she brought me beer for my birthday.
I wonder if there's a lack of that like quote unquote flavor that you taste because they moved breweries. Like they don't brew. I don't think they brew in the old location anymore. They have a massive facility now in Groton versus the old place in Stonington.
yeah, I think you're right, Ted. I think they don't do much brewing at all out of the old place, but I didn't get a chance to go in there when I was back east. So
Now, do they still have both locations, or did they just move to the one?
Yeah, they have both.
I'm sure, like, if I had to guess, and Beard right in, my guess is they do, like, more experimental batches at the small one, and then, like, the mass stuff at the big one.
yeah,
That's what I would do if I was a multi-million-dollar brewery.
yeah, like you'd still keep. I mean, no sense in not saving the space. You know, if you still got the old space and you're not going to convert it all to, seating, you might as well still use the equipment that you have there. You know.
Right. Might as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a solid beer. Very good. Definitely something a little different than what we normally bring on the podcast, but in a good way. Yeah, I definitely maybe like an orange right out the front. I'm gonna go ahead, lock that in. Lock in the orange flavor.
Lock in an orange.
Lock it in. I'm gonna give this a 4. It's good. It's different than what I'm used not what I'm used to, but it's different than what I normally have. But that's not always a bad thing. Solid beer, very well made. No weird aftertaste or anything like that. So it's a solid 4. Untapped, probably. I think it's gonna be around what I'm thinking.
So I will tell
Maybe
you
a little bit higher.
I'll tell you this: there's 68 check-ins.
Oh, you hear that, Chris? 68.
Oh,
You know what that means?
I gotta log it in right now. I'll be the 69 check-in. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it after I guess. And then I'll be the 69 check-in. I'm so excited. And okay, so in that case, I think it's gonna be a 4.05. 4.05. Thought it was gonna be. I hope I didn't second guess myself.
It's a little bit lower. It's a 3.93.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Which I believe makes us tied for Man of the
It is a
People.
tie. Yeah, I think you were both 0.12 off.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I thought you were 0.13 off.
I don't think so.
What did you say?
I said 3.8,
You said-
3.85 or 3.86.
I don't remember.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back and check the recording.
For some reason, I thought you were 0.13 off, but I could be wrong. I may have misremembered.
I think we're both 0.12 off.
Well, I'm glad I changed it. I was going to go higher. I'm glad you said there were 68 check-ins. By the way, I have to check this in real quick.
Damn, I
Because,
shot myself in the foot, huh?
I was going to go a little higher. I'm not going to lie. Salute to 2020. Okay, and actually, let's see if it changes after.
No.
If it changes,
You don't get to go back and change the rules.
I didn't change the rules.
I think this means I'm man of the people.
You're a man of the people.
Because I made such a good margarita, I get the Man of the People award.
You know what? I can't believe that I forgot the brewery that I had the other Undivided at. And it is
Where was it?
the best part is that it's the brewery that shall not be named. Therefore, I shall not name the brewery.
Oh. Were you there when you were at the... Was it the same trip as when you went to the
Yeah.
Thimble Island?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
So
Which
So
one
you-
did it better?
the one from the brewery that shall not be named is the worst one. that I've had.
The cranky brewery.
Yes.
It's the worst one, the Cranky Brewery.
Yeah, the one that doesn't sponsor my segment as to why I'm cranky. They definitely did the worst one.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good you weren't missing much from them.
Yeah, not much has changed with that brewery. They're still just as bad as ever.
That's right. Yeah. Well, at least you went and did your due diligence. I'm gonna be bothered by not knowing who won, but when I go back and edit this episode, I'll double check the numbers and I'll text you guys. It'll be right on the board.
Just put the mark on the board for next week.
It'll be right on the board next week. You'll see it right up behind me with the tally mark. If you guys earned one, I think if you guys both tied, I don't think either of you get a tally. So it'd be one thing if you both tied at like 0.02 off.
Right.
I'd give you the tally then.
0.12, not as good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. I thought it was 0.13, but that might just be me wanting to be
to win
people again for the third week in a row.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have
it's
a
the
liftoff.
Countdown. Yeah, everyone's favorite segment for the last 2 of the last 3 weeks.
That's right.
Where we go
The
through
countdown with Tud.
The countdown with Tud. We can't forget that important part. Where we go through a list and we hopefully get to 1 someday. And then that's the end of the countdown. We don't have anything else to count down.
Then somebody else has to bring something to count down.
Yeah, on this edition of the countdown, Tud, what are we counting down?
So we are counting down VinePair.com's 25 most important IPAs right now. As you recall, last week we ended off with number 16, which was Pliny the Elder, which we all know that Obert hates and says I should not drink, and it's the worst beer on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that's what I remember from
that
last
tracks.
week too.
Yep. So we're going to move to number 15 this week, which is Bell's Brewery Two Hearted, which I believe we've all had.
Yeah.
Yep.
What makes this beer special, according to this list, is that it's now distributed nationwide. So for a long time, it was only distributed within Michigan and like the surrounding steel area of the country. But now it is distributed countrywide, so you can get it from coast to coast or border to border, depending on what way you're looking at the country, which puts it at number 15.
There is a Bell's beer that I've been trying to find, putting a APB out there for you guys. Have you guys had the Hop Slam from them?
I have, yes.
No.
Yeah. I came across my feed today and I was like, oh, that looks really yummy. I got to try and find some. So if anyone knows where I can get some Hop Slam or can bring it to the podcast, please do, because I want to hear it. I want to hear all about it or taste it.
I feel like I have some friends in Michigan that might be able to hook us up.
So coming at number 14 is a beer by WeldWorks Brewing Company out of Greeley, Colorado. It's called Juicy Bits, which I've heard of this beer before, but I've never
heard
had
of the brewery.
I've heard of the brewery as well, yes.
It says the quote is often intimidated and occasionally recreated by WeldWorks. Juicy Bits is the New England IPA of the Southwest. First of all, I don't know if I'd consider Colorado the Southwest, but it's the orange juice with pulp of IPAs packing Mosaic, Citra, and Eldorado hops into its feather-soft, smoothie-like mouthfeel. It's also available in stores like Whole Foods on the West Coast, which to us in the East Coasters is basically like saying the Tooth Fairy is real, which I don't understand this little paragraph. I've been to my Whole Foods. My Whole Foods carries better beer than I would imagine that this beer is.
Well, that's saying a lot considering you never had it.
Right.
It's true, but when your Whole Foods carries Kent Falls,
it's got I got it up here on Untapped. It's got a 4.21 average. Pretty good out of 46,000 check-ins.
That is really good.
Yeah. I've never seen it by me, but who knows? I'll keep an eye out. It's only 2 states away.
Do you have a Whole Foods?
No, unfortunately, we don't. Yeah.
Well,
worth asking, though.
What's the closest Whole Foods?
Believe it or not, this has already been a segment on the podcast. And we decided it was like 200 miles away in Spokane or so.
It's worth the drive, right? I mean, go find it.
Coeur d'Alene. I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I'd be better off finding people closer to Greeley, Colorado to send it to me. So could do that.
So coming in at number 13 is a beer called Neon Green Relish by Hop Butcher for the World out of Darien, Illinois.
Interesting. I've never heard of that place, that brewery, or that beer.
Yeah,
Same.
me neither.
Or that state.
It's described as zesty and herbal, like a gin and tonic with bergamot or lime. Then dank as a wheel of brie before going back to the fruity berry notes. It's somewhere in between a pickle and a Danish.
What the F? This is the strangest sounding beer on this list.
Wait, hold on. That is like such a broad horizon. Somewhere in between a pickle and a Danish. Those are like so far from each other that it could be literally anything.
Yeah, they go on to say it's exactly this bewildering and beguiling character that has hop-obsessed beer drinkers hooked on the Hop Butcher. The Illinois brewery's constantly changing range of thick, juicy hazies is for those who like their flavors extreme.
See, I'm sad we didn't go through this list before my drive across the country because I would have gone like 50 miles out of my way to try and track this down.
Yeah, I think you need
At
to
least
drive
if
back.
I could go to this brewery, yeah.
You have to come back.
This sounds like a Willy Wonka type situation.
Like, what is this beer? Pickles and Danishes? What is as the liquor guy? What is bergamot? Bergamot.
It's the thing that makes Earl Grey tea taste like Earl Grey. It's like orange oil, kind of.
So between bergamot and lime, is that as far off as I'm thinking it is, or is it is it citrus and citrus?
No, it's more like an earthy, orangey flavor, if I had to describe bergamot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. If a listener lives in Darien, Illinois, or somewhere around Darien, Illinois, and can get this beer, email us, dawfpodcast@gmail.com.
Let's make this happen.
Or hop on into the Discord. We'll make it worth your while.
Yeah.
We'll make it worth your while. Wink, wink, wink.
And is it wild or is it wild?
When everyone other than Chris says it, it's wild, and when Chris does it, it's wild.
Okay.
Chris will make
I
it
said wild.
Chris will make it wild. Yes, you said
I
wild.
I will.
But you would make it wild.
I would, yes. I was gonna say, I was like, I said while. At least I think I did.
know. But if anyone was going to make it wild, it would be you.
True story. Yes.
So coming in at number 12 is one that I don't even have to read the description for. It's one that's near and dear to all three of our hearts, and that is the ever famous OG original gangster.
Drink it from the can.
Drink it from the can, Heady Topper.
Drink it from the can.
All right.
Yeah, there it is.
It is.
Now we can talk.
Yeah. It comes in at number 12. It's a legend. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah. I think if this list was written 5 years earlier, it would be much higher than 12.
I agree. Yeah, it would be top 5
Yeah.
pretty easily, I think.
You can get it in
But
Connecticut now.
I think if it was written like 7 to 10 years earlier, I don't know how old Hetty is, it would be lower on the list. I think 5 years ago was like when it was the most important beer, probably the most important beer in the country, like the rise of the New England IPA. I think you could argue Hetty was the granddaddy of that movement.
Yeah, it went them, and then it went Sip of Sunshine, and then it was everything else tried to play catch up. And now, unfortunately, those two beers they're not even. I wouldn't even consider either one of them a New England IPA anymore. Like,
yeah, they're old England IPAs.
yeah, well, they're not. I mean,
Mother England.
They're not, juicy haze bombs. I mean, Heady Topper still has a decent amount of bitterness to it, as the Sip of Sunshine.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sip less so, but yeah, definitely more piney in the Heady Topper. Still amazing beers. I mean,
Absolutely.
Can't hate them.
You know what? I'm going to go out over the next couple weeks when I venture out to a package store, and I'm going to get a 4-pack of Heady Topper, and I'm going to get a 4-pack of Sip of Sunshine, because it's been way too long that this
Bring
podcast...
them both to the show, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been way too long this podcast has been going on, and neither one of them have been on the podcast.
Yeah, that's
Are we
tragedy.
sure about Sip of Sunshine? Are we sure Sip of Sunshine has not been on the podcast? I feel like it has been.
I could 100% tell you that Ship of Sunshine has not been on the podcast.
How many
what
ships
about
could
Sip of
Sunshine ship? If a sunshine should ship.
No,
I'm on the right board right now. I'm writing on the right board. Tud's bringing Sip and Hetty before the end of March.
Yep. It's up there now.
Yeah, I mean,
official.
Squeak,
it's gonna.
squeak, squeak, squeak,
I will say
that's my whiteboard sound effects.
I will say I can easily find Sip of Sunshine. Heady Topper, maybe a little bit more difficult, so you may have to give me a little bit more time on that one, but I will bring them both.
Don't worry, it's on the whiteboard. I will not erase it until you drink it.
Okay. Because I will, I mean, that one, even though it's in Connecticut and it's been here for months, I have yet to see it in the wild outside of, like, a restaurant.
Yeah, I've heard that, like, places get it once every 6 weeks or so. It's
I
not
may have
like
to take a trip to Vermont
consistently-
just to get it.
Oh darn!
And so,
Damn it! How dare us?
So coming in at number 11, which is the final beer of the day, this one surprises me because I don't agree with this one on this list. And once I say it, you'll know exactly why. But allow me to read a little bit about the beer, and I'm going to let you guys guess what it is. If we were in a bind and the only tap handles in sight resembled red, white, or blue big beers or an orange-billed goose, this IPA we would choose every time. There's a consistency in its quality that is as dependable as it is hoppy, and its recognizable hop character serves us a solid dosage of nostalgia too. With a good reason, this is the nation's top-selling IPA. Now I'll give you one more hint. They are owned by Heineken.
Yeah, it's Goose Island IPA.
No, it said if it was only in a tap that consisted of red, white, and blue beers and a stupid Goose Island head.
Oh,
They
that wasn't the beer?
Yeah.
Oh. So, okay. I was so focused on that being the answer that I was confused.
And that's owned by Anheuser-Busch, not Heineken, by the way.
Okay. So these guys are owned by Heineken?
Uh-huh.
What are you thinking, Chris?
I was honestly thinking like Lagunitas, but I don't know if that's. I don't think they're owned by Heineken though.
Right.
Over, do you have a guess?
Well, I shot my shot with my orange bill.
Oh, okay. So Chris is right. It is Lagunitas.
Oh, I didn't know that they were.
Okay.
I
All
thought
right,
they were
let's
independent.
Go. Let's go.
No, that's Stone. Stone is the
So
independent one.
is it little something something?
No, it's just Lagunitas straight up IPA.
IPA. I'll defend that one on the list. I don't think it belongs that high
At
up.
11.
At 11. I don't think
11?
it belongs at 11.
Yeah.
If it was at 25,
No.
I'd say, all right, it's really good.
That
It's
makes
widely
sense.
distributed. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But like also the subtle knock at Goose Island. I don't know what that was about too.
Yeah, that's what they wrote in their list. I mean,
I believe you. I just I don't know. I think I'd prefer Goose Island to Lagunitas.
Oh, I don't at all. I like Lagunitas.
I'd go Lagunitas.
I mean, I like both of them.
See, I don't like Goose Island.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
did I not? I don't think I knew that. Well, more for me in the zombie apocalypse, I guess.
I mean,
I
like,
will tell you
I
that-
like their barrels, their Bourbon County barrel series, but their normal.
Nope, you can't have it. You can't have it anymore.
No, I have to ship Chris my barrel aged Bourbon County stouts.
You have to drink all Lagunitas now.
No.
Or wait, the other one? No, that's
that was
Lagunitas. Yep, that was it.
So just to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of what's up next, a lot of big hitters are coming up. We've got at least 2 from Vermont, at least 1 from Maine, 1 from Iowa, 1 from Oregon, a pair from Massachusetts, Colorado, and New York. And
All right.
Wow.
And then California, if you can believe that too.
I can.
I can.
Yeah.
A lot of good beer out there.
Well, I can't wait for the countdown to continue one of
Right.
these upcoming weeks, but we can't do it today because it's time that we pull out that Frosty mug from the freezer. We fill it with citrus buying advice, babysitting techniques for your 3-year-old,
Cleaning products.
guitar learning, streams on Twitch, stuff like that. Jordan, take us away to that magical place that we like to call our 300 Frosty Mug of Wisdom.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of Wisdom! Drink. Mug of Wisdom! Finish that bravado. Mug of Wisdom!
Okay. Well, it's that time that normally the man of the people would pick who gets to go first. But I think because I definitely wasn't man of the people, maybe I should have to go first.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Let's do
that
that.
makes sense.
That way,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And the whiteboard will tell the tale next week.
Yeah, when I get
Yeah.
that little check mark next to my name, we're good.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Well, I have a beverage for my handle this week. One thing we are all huge fans of on this podcast. And it's from a company known as Sparkling Botanicals. This is something that I saw at my local grocery store the other day. I just picked up a single can of it, and I was like, wow, this was really good. I immediately went onto their website and ordered a sampler case. And I'm very excited to, when I went on their website to order them, they had cocktail recipes as well. So what this is they are steeped botanicals and sparkling water. So imagine iced tea seltzer in a way. It's not super carbonated. It's got like kind of more of a light carbonation. I haven't tried them all yet. The one I got at the store was the black lemon one, which was the closest to iced tea, but it was really good. I will say right away though, they are very expensive. The only reason I bought them was because they offered a discount to sign up for like recurring shipments, which I'm going to cancel. And then they had like a new customer bonus of like $7 off. But it was like $3.50 for a single can at the store, which is a lot for a non-alcoholic beverage.
That is a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot for an alcoholic beverage too.
Yeah, that's steep.
Very steep. But so far I've tried the black lemon and I've tried the Schisandra berry. Both were really good. And actually, so yeah, Sparkling Botanicals is the website. There's a hyphen between there. But Rishi is like the company that makes I think they're a tea company, and I think that's like the name of the company behind the brand Sparkling Botanicals, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, when I ordered the mixed case, even with the case discount and those other discounts, it ended up being like $29 for 12 of them, which is still a lot of money. So
Yikes.
Right. Damn, that's a lot.
Very expensive. But I will say this, like, you can tell that they use a lot of high quality ingredients. This isn't like a normal seltzer where they're using some essential oils from limes or something. Like they're using lime oil or whatever. This is like, you can tell they're like making some really high quality teas and turning them into canned seltzers, which is really cool. And I know some people wouldn't balk at spending that much money for a really good beer with really good ingredients. So
it sounds similar to me like drink that I drank on the Lost episode, but also a past handle hop tea, which is it sounds almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And like I said, I really clearly I enjoyed it enough to make the leap. And I wouldn't be on this show if I didn't really enjoy some beverages, but that's where I'm coming from. So check it out, sparkling-botanicals.com. I could put, they gave me like a 15% off thing with my first order, like one of those codes they throw in the shipment when you get it. You know what I mean? I'll put that in the show notes as well. So maybe you can get 15% off if you're into that kind of thing. Check it out.
Nice. I mean, very steep, but hey,
Yeah.
always looking for non-alcoholic beverages.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the website right now, and it looks almost exactly like hop
Like
tea.
the hop tea? Huh.
Except for yours is made with botanicals, and this one's made with tea. They're almost the same price, too, if that makes you feel any better, except for hop tea comes in a 16-ounce can, and sparkling botanicals comes in a 12.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I know it's steep, but maybe you're somebody who drinks fresh squeezed blood orange juice every morning, and you're like, hey, this sounds cheaper. I don't know. But okay, so getting my handle out of the way, why don't we put this compliment sandwich together with Chris in the middle? Chris, why don't you share your handle for us this week?
Okay, yeah. So I actually have one, and it's good
Whoa.
for once.
Ooh, let Obert and I be the decider of if it's good
Maybe
or
we
not.
should put Tud in the middle then. I always, here's a little insight into, I always want to put Tud in the middle because he has to do all the outro stuff. So
Ooh,
That is
that's
true.
That's a good point.
it's like Tud, this way Tud doesn't have to just do a monologue for 5 minutes.
Well, this.
I could do the outro. If
This
you
is
wanted
why
to.
I win Man of the People all the time, is because A, I'm awesome, but B, I know that people
I
don't want to
swear.
hear me drone on for hours and hours and hours.
Todd is listening to a different podcast. He listens to a different podcast. He's like, "See, I won." He's like, "Todd, you just listened to Joe Rogan." No, I won that one. That's the one I won. I swear to Aisha, I don't understand.
I think
But anywho.
I think we should do so. Chris, do your handle, and then I want to hear Chris do the outro.
All right, cool. Yeah.
We've heard Chris do the outro. It's terrible, but okay.
Stepping up to the plate.
Listeners,
Like,
I apologize. I will hop in as soon as he starts to fail.
Start to fail. Come on now. I am a online personality. I do this for a living.
Not only is it an online
sort of.
personality, but he has an amazing handle this week.
I do. I have a good one. Finally. So, as we talked about at the beginning of the episode, and I didn't want to disclose too much because it's the only handle I have, I did go and experience a new way of dining today, and we went to the Melting Pot. Have any of you been to the Melting Pot?
Yes.
I thought you were going to
I
say
have.
butt chugging.
Butt chugging, yes, that's extra at the Melting Pot. Obert has. Okay, so this might not be a good one for Obert, but maybe he could jump in and maybe say, "Wow, this is the greatest handle Chris has ever had," something like that. But his words, not mine. So the Melting Pot is an all fondue restaurant. And it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Oh, no, you
can go
fondant.
and Oh, dang. You got me. But it's pretty cool. Like, we went out and did it's like Big Night Out or something like that. And you have 4 courses. It starts off with like a cheese fondue, which I did eat, by the way, you guys. I know everybody's thinking it. Everybody's wondering at home.
Interesting. What did you dip in the cheese?
So you dip, there's like breads, apples. I think that was pretty much, it was apple and a lot of different types of bread. So like white bread, rye bread, pretzel bread. And some assorted vegetables. And you have like these little, they put it right on your table. There's like 2 burners. They put it in there, mix it all up. And they kind of like tell you how to eat. So, but you have these long skewers, you stick them in. It's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, the peppers, I'm not going to lie. There was like bell peppers that they served up. Those were solid in the cheese. Very good. So, and then you get some salads. Salads is the next course. So, just eat your salad, I normally don't like salad.
You don't dip the salad in the cheese?
No. There's no salad dipping.
Wait, but did they take the cheese away, or could you have dipped it in the cheese if you really wanted to?
If you really wanted to, you probably could have. If you really wanted to.
Does it come with like a ladle? Could you have ladled the cheese on top of your salad?
My new salad dressing, liquid cheese.
Cheese, melted cheese. No, there was no ladle. And then main course, it's basically just boiling broth. And there's like a bunch of different flavors you can get. Like we did the Caribbean. It's called Mojo. It's like Caribbean. Then we did like a standard like beef broth. And you have raw meats. So all your meats are raw and vegetables and everything. So you kind of like stick them in there and you let them cook. And we had like lobster and filet mignon and steaks and shrimp. It was really cool. And so you let them then, it's kind of like, it's a whole experience. It's kind of cool.
It sounds like you're doing the cooking at this place.
Oh no, 100%. And that was a hard pill to swallow. I'm not going to lie. It's like, I'm going out to dinner and I'm paying to cook my own food. That sounds like bullshit.
But it sounds
hey.
like you enjoyed it.
No, it was a lot of fun. I mean, Dana's been asking me to go for like years, and we've never gone. Now that we have we had a babysitter tonight, so we're like, you know what? We made the reservation.
CJ stepped up.
CJ stepped up. Yep. He was the good brother we knew he could be. So yeah, you kind of cook your own food, vegetables and all that stuff, and then dessert comes, and dessert is chocolate fondue, and you get like cakes and like little cake cubes and marshmallows and fruit that you can dip inside this chocolate. And it was like I've always been hesitant, and I'm always hesitant to try new things. I think we've decided that.
Yep.
That on the podcast.
That's something we all know about Chris.
But this was a lot of fun, and like our server was super awesome. She was fun and funny, and hopefully she's listening to this podcast now. But because I did name drop the podcast,
gave her some stickers.
Yeah, and so hopefully she's listening now. But either way, it was a fun time. A little pricey. I mean, a dinner for two. It is a little bit pricey. So if you go, it's not going to be. I'm sure there's cheaper options than what we got, because I think we got like the most expensive thing. But it still is a little pricey. But it's fun. If you've never done it before, I highly suggest it. We will go back in some. Whenever CJ decides that
when his schedule clears up again,
when CJ can watch the kids again, and but yeah, it was a really, really good time. So I'm glad we went, and it was nice to do something adulty.
Nice.
So now, while you're cooking all the meats and everything, do they still leave the cheese there too? Can you dip the meat in the cheese if you so wanted to?
If you have cheese left, I'm sure you could. We didn't have any cheese left. The cheese was gone.
Okay.
Cheese was gone. So it's like, there's only a finite amount of cheese. You can't have cheese forever. It's not like you could just be like, can I get a refill on cheese? But, they had like a bunch of dipping sauces and stuff too, which were also pretty solid. So highly suggest it if you have a fondue, a melting pot or a fondue place around you. I highly suggest it. I will say, Dana said I have to say this on the podcast, but when she first told me about it, I thought it was like they put like fondue fountains on here. It is not a fountain. It is a bowl of broth. It's not a fountain. That's what I thought it was. So,
damn, no cheese fountains for us here on the podcast.
No cheese fountains, no chocolate fountains, just chocolate bowl.
Yeah,
but it was a lot of fun and it was very good. So,
check
it out.
Excuse me, miss. I believe there should be a fountain. Can you check out our fountain?
We got the fountain one.
Yeah, I used to go to the melting pot for Valentine's Day every year, but have not had done that tradition for a while. But yeah, it's a cool place. You are paying a lot of money to cook your own food, where you could just buy a fondue set for much cheaper. Have your date at home. But it's part of the experience of going out, It's a fun thing to do, especially with other people. It'd be like a great double date activity. If you had like a set of like 4 people, it's a good time.
That would be. Next time we're coming up in Connecticut in September, so
there we go.
Me, Tud, me and the Tuds. Me, Tud, Caitlin, and Dana.
That works. I think
those are the 2 couples.
It's Providence Place Mall, right, Obert?
Yep. There's another one also in Stamford or something. I went to that one as well.
We could probably go to the one in Stamford.
They were about the same distance away from me.
A few good breweries down in the Stamford area too, like Lock City. Like we could do it. Not Lock City. Whatever the hell Stamford.
We'll figure something. We'll figure.
Not quite Dawn Power Wash level of handle, but pretty good one nonetheless, Chris.
Hey, listen, I was excited about it. I understood it. It was new. Well, Dawn was new too, so they got that going for. Anywho, so Tud, you fill up. So what do we have? What do we have so far?
We have sparkling botanicals at the bottom, and then a layer of cheese, broth, and chocolate, and then we have whatever Tud's gonna fill in here.
All right. So my handle this week is a game that just came out on Steam not too long ago, and actually both Obert and I have bought it and have had the ability to play it together and have done so. And it's a game called Valheim, which I guess I would kind of describe it as like a MMORPG like light, where you can play offline by yourself, or you can play with up to 10 friends, and basically you're put into a procedurally generated world where you play as a Viking that has died and gone into the 4th layer of whatever the heck
Valhalla.
The fourth layer of Valhalla called Valheim. And in this game, basically, it's like Don't Starve meets Ultima Online meets World of Warcraft all in one nice little bow. It is early access, so there are some bugginess to it, but like it's not buggy, but there's some like quirks to the game, I guess is the better way to say it.
Very playable, but you can tell they're going to change some things.
Correct. The world is massive. At one point, Obert zoomed all the way out on the world and said, "Oh, hey, go check out how big this world is." And it is a massive game map.
We had been playing for like 3 hours, and we had like seen like less than 1% of the map.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and basically the entire goal is like you can build bases, and it's like the construction model is kind of like Fortnite with, you know, things just kind of appear and you can kind of just take them down, and there's bad guys and there's missions to follow, but you have to kind of work to find those missions, because if you don't walk to the certain place, as Obert learned, you don't get the mission.
Yeah, the whole base building thing, like you said, definitely Fortnite feels in terms of like the walls and stuff you can build, but it had very much the vibe of if you wanted to build like a gigantic Viking hall, you definitely could, which would
Like
be
Minecraft,
really sweet.
kind of.
Yeah.
And then with like some Terraria built in too, because like you can like dig holes and like
For sure.
find caverns and stuff like that. It's a really cool blend of a lot of different games. It's $20 early access on Steam. Go get it, and if you do get it, drop your Steam handle into the Discord. You know, if there's 10 of us, we can all play on the same map, and we can all explore together. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we should plan Chris's stream sometime.
We could do that.
That'd be fun.
We could. I mean, we've talked about streaming this podcast. Oh.
But, I mean,
That'd also
Chris,
be fun.
this seems like something you should buy, and like, you know, I know you have a stream coming up tomorrow, and also on Thursday, the day this drops, and on Sunday. I mean, we could find some time to play this game.
I know. I don't know how my people would think. I don't know what my people would think without the shiny hunting, you know?
The shinies that need hunting, and someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it, and gosh darn it, I'm just stepping up to the plate.
But I mean, if we did it with 10
there's
people...
also Vikings that need Vikinging, and
Yeah.
Vikinging,
and
that's
Tud
true.
and I are there for that.
Yeah, and
I will say, I have seen Valheim. It's growing in popularity on Twitch. I've seen a few streamers that have been playing it.
you could catch the wave and be like the top Valheim streamer.
There you go. Yeah, see? Beard Dad as the Viking. It's not, I guess, much of a stretch.
No.
I have a beard.
You already got the beard.
And
Drink
you can
beer.
come join the DAWF podcast server, and we can all conquer the world together.
And
Right.
build a kick-ass Viking hall.
That's true.
Nice.
I may or may not have built a raft
Very nice.
to sail the high seas.
Isn't that the game Raft? That's a crossover.
Well, it's a Viking game, so you eventually got to build like the Viking ship. But so far, I have a raft.
Okay, fair enough. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. We first like to start by thanking the breweries that provided the beers. I'd like to go first with thanking Beard Brewing for their Salute to 22 IPA.
And I will thank Labyrinth for their Undivided Connecticut IPA with raspberries.
I want to thank Blood Oranges for existing, number one, and number two, I want to thank Instagram for making up fake holidays like National Margarita Day. Thank you, Instagram.
Thank you, margaritas, for being margarita.
Yeah, thank you, Margaritas, number three.
Make sure you follow us on all social medias. That includes Instagram. That's a big one. Instagram gets to see our lovely faces. Untapped, you can see what we're drinking sometimes, maybe. Twitter, go ahead, why not? Facebook, we're there. Patreon, hey, we have a Patreon, y'all. Gonna try and do something. I don't know what we're doing with Patreon, to be honest. So
We're putting
gonna do stuff.
our old ones, our oldies and our goodies up there.
Oldies and goodies, at least,
And
on
potentially the
Patreon,
unheard
yes.
episode.
Oh, really? Oh, God, that's. I don't think 3/4 of an episode. Cut the mic.
It's a good episode, minus missing a fourth of the podcast.
It was a great episode, but it's for us. It's for us only. Episode 120, forever in our brains and hearts.
Listen, patrons or listeners, if you want to hear the undisclosed episode, just go subscribe to Patreon. If we get enough patrons, then they'll have to listen to me and put the episode up.
No, that's not true. You know what it would be like? It would be like hey, why did the chicken cross the road? And then it's like 6 seconds of silence. And then it's like 2 people laughing. Like, that's not, no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
It sounds like a good one. Oh, man. Make sure you're hitting up that email, dawpodcast@gmail.com. Send us anything, comments, concerns, questions, beer recommendations, breakfasts. I'm going to say that for Tud. If you have any song-sounding beers or beer-sounding songs, you can send that over to beardadgamer@gmail.com because we're going to try and dip our toes back into song or beer, which is still the working title, but still, it is what it is. Discord, of course, we're on Discord, so jump in there. We have some fun talking about that. Also, if you're on Twitch, twitch.tv/beardgamer, it's awesome. A lot of fun.
Also, make sure you head over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and a review, and also make sure you tell your friends. And so,
there you go. Tell your friends.
Seeing as I had to pick up the ball and finish and cross the finish line for Chris, my name's Tud.
I guess he did pretty good, though.
He did pretty good. He did good.
I mean, it was like, honestly, the best 3/4 of an outro we've ever had.
That's not true. There's recording on our new episodes where you guys both admit, yeah, we kind of missed Tud doing the outro because it's difficult to do.
Well, that's why he said 3/4. Because 75% is less than 100%, which is what you are.
That's true. He was trying to steal my thunder. I don't like it.
No, I mean, I just like I did that 3/4 better than any other 3/4, but you do the 100% a little better. See, it's not.
No, I don't like this. And so with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends. At least I have that to 100%.
That is true. You were very good at your
At
role.
least I could say our catchphrase with 100% accuracy.
There you go. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
And remember, if you're Obert, alone drink, friends with.
Oh, damn. 99 out of 100. Still pretty good.
I gotta go find more of these Undivided.
I just want that crazy Indiana beer.
Yeah. Pickle relic, neon
Oh, yeah. What the
Beer
heck is
that's
that?
if 0 is water and 100 is pickle, this beer is like 135.
Like, the Tud scale would be all over the place with that beer.